What's up, people? It's Niche Girl 30 here, and it is Power Rankings time. Power Rankings for July 21st. Now, I'm going to be real. Before I get started on these Power Rankings, I'm going to be honest. I am not going to watch SmackDown on the web anymore. I cannot believe that I missed Animal's moment coming back to SmackDown, coming back to the WWE for a long time. I am not going to watch it anymore. I'm actually going to wait till 8 o'clock. No matter how many people have already done their reviews by then, I am actually going to do my review at 8 for now on. Now, moving on to the power rankings of this week. Starting at 25 is the Road Warrior Animal. What a rush. You have no idea how much I love the Road Warriors. And no idea how much I love Animal. Animal was my favorite. I love Hawk, God rest his soul. But Animal was my favorite. And the fact that he crushed Heath Slater like the legend crusher that he is. Well, Heath Slater is being crushed by legends, in other words. He's at number 25 this week. Now, moving from 25 to 24 is Kaitlyn. The fact that she was on the team of the good guys, well, the good girls, pretty much, and the fact that they actually got a win at Money in the Bank moves her up from 25 to 24 this week. Now, at number 23 this week is Rikishi. Oh, I love Rikishi's return on Raw. Oh my gosh, how I miss him. Not the fact that Rikishi came back and literally destroyed Heath Slater and gave him the stink face. We were actually given a show by him and his sons. That was a very touching moment, and he's at number 23 this week. Moving on from 21 to 22 this week, actually going down from 21 to 22 is Zack Ryder. Since Zack Ryder pretty much lost Alberto Del Rio with the cross arm breaker, that's why he drops from 21 to 22 this week. Moving on from 23, going from the 23 spot to the 21 spot this week is Chris Jericho. Regardless of how it was in that little segment between him and Dolph Ziggler, actions seriously, actions speak louder than words, and silence is golden. Let me rephrase that. Silence is golden and action speaks louder than words. That's better. But anyway, the fact of the matter is, Chris Jericho didn't have to say crap to Dolph Ziggler. All he had to do was just literally give him the code breaker and boom, it was done. So he went up 2 spots from 23 to 21 this week. Good for him. I still actually see a lot going on with Chris Jericho, especially the fact he's going to be in some decent feuds. So I am looking forward to actually seeing what he has in store for any feuds that's coming up in the future. Anyway, moving on from there. Going from 19 to 20 this week is the Primetime Players. Okay, even though the Primetime Players won the 8-man tag, they lost Money in the Bank and Raw. So that pretty much dropped them one rank from 19 to 20 this week. Moving on to 19 and pretty much being this first time being a 19 is Rey Mysterio. Booyaka! I was so happy to literally see Rey Mysterio come back to Raw and SmackDown after such a long hiatus. Not only that, he rarely has any ring rust in him, and the guy literally put the SmackDown on Alberto Del Rio on Raw. I loved it. Booyaka! Booyaka! You are 19 this week, baby! Moving on to number 18 is Sin Cara. At a stagnant 18, pretty much to the fact that he won against Drew McIntyre. He beat Drew McIntyre on Superstars, but he lost against Alberto Del Rio the previous week. On that Monday Night Raw before. So that pretty much keeps him at number 18. Moving on, number 17, and stagnant 17 happens to be Damien Sandow. Damien Sandow lost Money in the Bank, but even though he had a win over Zack Ryder SmackDown, that keeps him at number 17 and does not move him any further than that. Drops from number 15 to number 16 this week happens to be Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes pretty much lost the biggest match of his career, but he gave it a decent effort. So instead of him dropping several spots, he only dropped one from 15 to 16 this week. At number 15 this week is Brodus Clay. Brodus Clay really did take it to JTG, so he ended up going from 16 to 15 this week. At a stagnant 14 is Layla. Layla has not really been doing much with her title, but she had a decent win at Money in the Bank, and the fact that she won at a pay-per-view does count, so it leaves her at a stagnant 14. Dropping from 11 to 13 this week happens to be Christian. Their reasoning was the fact that he got slapped by AJ. In my opinion, the fact is he really hasn't done anything for the Intercontinental title as of late, and he has lost a few matches. So that's how I see it. So that's what drops him 2 spots from 11 to 13. At a stagnant 12 is the Boom Truth, Kofi Kingston and R-Truth. They did have 2 decent wins. They had a win on a major win on the pay-per-view, and they had a win on Raw. So, but even though they lost SmackDown, that still keeps them at a stagnant 12. Now, dropping 4 spots from 7 to 11 this week is Santino Marella. He pretty much lost one of the biggest matches of his career, and so far, he really hasn't had any wins as of late. So it dropped him about 4 spots from 7 to 11. All I can say is that he really needs to do something with that U.S. title. Somebody needs to take it from him because it's making it look like just a starter belt, and it's just really annoying me. But anyway, that's another rant for another time. Moving on to the next person on this list, and it's frozen. My bad. Moving on to the next person on this list is number 10, AJ. AJ is pretty much all about Daniel Bryan and all about her getting married. So that's all the hype around all that puts her at number 10 this week at a stagnant 10. Going up from 13 to 9 happens to be Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler freaking won Money in the Bank. What can you say about that? Not only that, he's had some decent wins moving on from there, and the fact that he actually got in the faces of a lot of legends and got under a lot of legends' skin. The fact that he's getting that much airtime and that much promotion brings him up from 13 to 9 this week. I don't know why Ryback is on this list again, but he's going to forever be on this list because, let's face it, he's being completely pushed and completely backed by the corporate machine. But he moves from 9 to 8 this week, and pretty much the fact that he just completely annihilated Jack Swagger on Raw. I guess. I don't know. But moving up from 8 to 7 this week is Kane. Well, in my humble opinion, this has nothing to do with any match he's been in. Sure, he has lost Money in the Bank, but the fact of the matter is he is actually in the storyline of one of the most popular storylines going on right now in the WWE is AJ and Daniel Bryan. And the fact that he's actually becoming more affiliated with that brings his popularity up and puts him to number 7. This is my saying. This is my opinion. And I'm really shocked to see this. Dropping from 4 to 6 this week is Alberto Del Rio. Now, sure, Alberto Del Rio has had a few wins. I mean, for crying out loud, he made Sin Cara tap out. But he drops from 4 to 6. Yeah. And I guess because maybe he's had all these chances to actually win the World Heavyweight title, and he lost at Money in the Bank was a huge loss, and also the fact that he lost against Rey Mysterio, one of his biggest rivals. Yeah, it would drop him from 4 to 6. And I really do see Alberto Del Rio as an awesome heel, and it breaks my heart the fact that he has dropped so low. But let's face it, Alberto Del Rio is not done yet. I really don't want him to be champion because his title reign was completely boring, but who knows what they're going to do with Alberto Del Rio. It may be something completely new, and I'm hoping that he actually does start feuding with Rey Mysterio, but we'll see about that later on. Moving on to number 5, at a stagnant 5 this week is Daniel Bryan. We already know why. I mean, let's face it. The guy is highly popular, especially the match that he had with Kane and the fact that AJ was involved. So let's face it. That's the reason why he is number 5 this week, is because of sheer popularity. Now, moving on to number 4 this week, from 3 to 4 is The Big Show. The Big Show has been a very dominant heel as of late. He has literally been beating the crap out of people for no apparent reason and practically instilling some sort of fear into a lot of folks. So that's the reason why he is number 4 this week. And honestly, I really hope they do something with him, because at this point, I really don't care about him being a heel. But the funny thing is, this is going to be something that a lot of you John Cena haters are not going to like. John Cena went up from 6 to number 3 this week, and I think it's because of the fact that he won Money in the Bank. Let's face it, it was the fact that he won Money in the Bank. And the fact that he said that he's going to cash his Money in the Bank in on the 1000th show of Raw on primetime TV is considered to be huge. So that is pretty much why he is number 3 this week. Moving from number 3 to number 2 is CM Punk. CM Punk happens to be the champion. He came from a monstrous, one of the most popular feuds out there in the WWE at this point between him, AJ, and Daniel Bryan. Not only that, he happens to be the WWE champion, and the fact that John Cena is going to cash Money in the Bank, and he's pretty much getting a lot of media, a lot of hype, a lot of showing around the belt. And of course, he is going to be at number 2 this week, and I think that was definitely a good call. Number 1, we already know he has been number 1 for 3 weeks in a row, and that's never going to change. Number 1 is Sheamus. That is not going to change at all. This guy happens to be the World Heavyweight Champion. He's been a World Heavyweight Champion for a while. Nobody has been ever able to take the belt from him. Any match that he's had was good. He won against Alberto Del Rio at Money in the Bank. So that puts him at number 1 this week. How is it going to be for the 1000th show of Raw? Who knows? There are so many legends going to be out there. So many feuds is probably going to start. So many new things that's going to probably happen. And it's going to be 3 hours. So let's hope that they're going to entertain us for 3 hours. And let's hope it's going to be a great 1000th show of Raw, because they completely neglect their pay-per-view for this 1000th show. So I believe that it's going to be a good show. And I'm going to be positive about this. It is going to be a good show. Stay tuned to that. This is Nature Girl 30 signing off. You will hear from me on Monday. Peace out. See you later.